Broadcasting live from the moon and back, this is The Coin Chat, the most trusted voice for all things cryptocurrency. Each week we dissect an important issue and cut through the noise and misinformation out there in the world of blockchain, cryptocurrency, and ICOs, capturing the facts that truly matter to you that will give you an edge in this fast-moving emerging market. The who, what, where, when, and how of what you need to know in crypto to get ahead so you don't get left behind. Now here are your co-hosts, financial and crypto experts Yuri Cataldo and Steve Good.
Hey, this is Steve Good and Yuri Cataldo, cutting through the noise and misinformation on blockchain and cryptocurrency to tell you what really matters.
Yes, we do. Every single week.
Oh my God, did that work for you? I really enjoy reading this little script now. It's kind of a nice way to
I
get
like it.
Well,
I like it because
makes me feel like I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, and you're emphasizing different words now, which I like. So you're playing with it. You're getting used to it. It's good.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you for writing it.
You're very welcome.
Couldn't have written it better myself.
Exactly. Well, just give it time. Excellent. So I know before we get into today's topic,
how to get more free coins, because we love to get more coins. By the way, I put up one of the episodes and it just the views on it went off really quickly, so that's good. So people want coins. We like it. So we'll keep going on this. Yeah, but this is the third one in the installment. I don't think there's much more we can say, but
no, that's probably not. Before we jump into that, do you have any updates on things you're seeing in the markets that you want to talk about today?
Well, it's all kind of all over the place. I think so one thing I've noticed is people are panicking again because crypto sold off a bit and there's some worry about where it's going and blah blah. But there's this expression that they use for trading and markets and stuff called sell in May and go away. Mm-hmm. And they literally mean go away in the summer. August is the worst trading month. We're in August 2018 right now. It's a terrible month. August is always a terrible month for trading. Everything sells off. It's normal. So I've seen too many Augusts in the past where I had shares and watched stuff kind of fall down and I got panicked and oh, I should sell it now. And you know what? This is not the time to sell. Never sell in August. Just go away. Come back when everyone goes back to school and everyone gets back from their holidays and their vacations all around the world. And when the weather's a bit cooler because it's horribly hot and summery this summer in Europe and across the States and Asia. It's about the worst hot summer ever. So everyone's just exhausted from the heat and they're panicked. And you know what? Just relax. Don't worry about it. That's all I can say. I mean, there's nothing we can do. Crypto's going to do what crypto does, and people are going to trade it how they want. But, it's been a little bit uncomfortable for sure that it's up and down and all over the place. But, we all want to see it going back up to new heights, and we want to see it moving again. But surely there's more adoption going on globally, so I'm not that concerned about it from that perspective. But, of course, nobody wants to see their pockets look a little bit emptier. That's why we have to tell you what really matters, which is HODL.
That's right. So what are I know we didn't discuss this at all, but the ETFs. I know people are saying that that's part of what happened with the big dip is the ETFs in America.
The Winklevoss ETF that got rejected, and then it was days later that the sell-off took place. I don't think they were linked because if it was, then it would have happened within an hour or two. But yeah, the SEC is annoying. They just don't. Maybe they've got a thing in for the brothers because they're crypto guys and they fell out with Mark Zuckerberg and he's become blazingly successful, and they are actually quite successful as well with their Gemini exchange and Gemini platform for crypto. But maybe the SEC just has to think about crypto. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem very fair. But there was even a governor that was dissenting on the whole decision. So you can see that there's unrest within the SEC when people are publicly dissenting on the decision.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. No, I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, I think there's 2 additional ETFs that are still crypto-based ETFs that are in the pipeline waiting for approval. So let's see.
Yeah. No, it's not a matter of if, it's going to be just when. And maybe it won't be the Winklevoss version, but there will be some that go through. There's enough popularity behind it, enough states now. There are governors of different states who are now really coming into place with this. I just read recently, I think, was it Wyoming? The governor of Wyoming is also trying to make Wyoming very crypto friendly, along with Nevada and a lot of other places. So it's going to
In
happen.
contrast to Texas.
Exactly. Excellent.
Yeah, well, Houston, we got a problem, right? Someone else has done an ICO here. Quick, let's get him. Sorry.
So this not like exciting news, but still interesting. Nestle announced the other day that they're going to go along with what Walmart and IBM and Unilever have done, and they're going to be using blockchain technology to track inventory. But for them specifically, it's around their Gerber baby food.
But
So,
the supply chain project?
Yes, for supply chain. So they've called this the food trust. And so now it's going to improve safety standards and track the companies. So from all their supply chain, but only with baby food for right now.
I mean, Nestle of all companies probably has learned some lessons from the past where they had some problems with the baby powder years ago that caused a huge negative impact on their brand. So for them to do this, it's saying we want to raise a higher standard and maintain the standards we've established after that fiasco years ago. So that's very cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yes. And also, who knows? Since they're now announcing blockchain, we should watch and see if their stock jumps.
Speculate.
Yeah. Just so happens with a lot of things. So we'll speculate.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Of course, disclaimer, we're not recommending anything here. We're just observing.
We've just noticed that often when companies say blockchain, sometimes their stock jumps, and sometimes it jumps a lot.
Like iced tea companies.
Like iced tea companies who have nothing to do with it. Yes,
and
their
then
stock.
after saying it, then of course they got investigated. So
they did.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see what happens on that one.
Right. So should we get to it? Because I know people are dying to know how they can get free coins, and this is probably I think equally exciting and interesting episode because it's yet another form of crypto mining.
It is. So an extension of our mining episode. So yes, our option 3, or actually number 3 of how to get free coins. So you have a couple of new ideas on that.
Yeah. So just to do a kind of a quick retracement. So when you get into mining, the whole principle of mining is confirmations of transactions going on in the network, so that if I send coins to you, they get validated somewhere, somehow, in a decentralized way through a bunch of computers. And of course, the most common, or let's say the most popular way, is probably still doing proof of work with things like Ethereum and Bitcoin, with using GPUs or using ASICs, which is another piece of hardware that are used to validate transactions. But things have moved on a bit in crypto land, and there's been another form of confirmation validation going on for a while, which we haven't spoken about, but now is a good time to talk about it, called proof of stake. So a proof of stake model is really effectively where I go and buy some coins from a proof of stake project. So instead of being based on mining with the GPUs, I'm buying the coins and I stake or I hold the coins in a wallet. And because they're sitting there and I put them on the network and declared those to be staked, I'm being paid a reward or a dividend in more of their coins for my coins sitting there. But effectively, I'm being paid for validation of transactions on behalf of that vendor. So my PC is literally acting as a transaction as a node on their network, effectively. So that's the essence of it. But of course, there's 2 types of transactions that you can validate with. One is a pure proof of stake using a wallet, and one is using a Masternode. So I'm sure you're dying to know the difference because there are a few. It is a little bit confusing, actually. I actually did a little research myself just to make sure I had my story straight, because the nuance of it in some respects, when you first look at it at first glance, it's like, well, I put coins in my wallet, they're there, therefore I'm staking, therefore I get paid, end of story. And that would probably be somewhat true. So the effective, you buy the coins and then you put them in a wallet, and then you're being rewarded. So what happens with a masternode is a little bit different, because with a masternode, you're actually saying that you are holding. So first of all, with proof of stake, you don't necessarily have to have a set number of tokens. You can have just random number normally. But with a masternode, you have to buy 1,000 coins or 5,000 coins, an exact number.
Okay.
And that number is required in order to actually provide the stake and to say that you're running as a masternode. There's also a bit more to it than that, because you don't just take the wallet. You have to configure the wallet to say, hey, I'm a wallet, which now I put some configuration technical commands in, which declares me, hey, I'm out here now, I'm a masternode, and that gives me additional privileges as a masternode. Probably the most popular one is voting rights. So because I am now a contributor to the consensus and voting as a masternode, that means that when various things are being supplied out to the community, the masternodes will typically be the ones that get to have the vote on the network about things around, how things are going to transact and certain speeds or the frequencies of transactions or whether a transaction is valid or not. So they get to vote on it. The people that are staking coins are simply being paid coins for staking their coins.
Okay.
Whereas a masternode, you're actually being paid part of the rewards for each block for a verification validation. So it's a slightly different model. So rewards is one part, is you get higher number of coins from a masternode than you do a proof of stake. You get voting rights sometimes, whereas with proof of stake you do not. The setup for a masternode is more technical.
Okay.
Command line stuff or whatever, most of the time. There are a few projects out there like Gincoin, which is like a masternode platform for hosting other masternodes, where you literally go on their website and you say, I want to set up a masternode. Okay, they're charging you 50 cents a day to run a masternode within their website, and they're literally hosting it for you, and you can choose their coin on their platform or a number of other coins. You can choose which one you want to make a masternode out of. Then you go buy the tokens on whichever exchange that they're on, transfer the tokens to your masternode, and once they're there, then it starts the process.
Wow.
And as I said, the number of tokens. Go on, sorry.
Sorry, that process sounds a lot easier than the other ones you were describing.
Well, yeah, generally speaking, it's pretty easy to set up a proof of stake anyway, because you just download the wallet, put the coins in there, and you're done. You have to, no matter what, you have to go buy the coins and then deposit them into that wallet. With either one, you generally have to leave them running 24/7 as well. So the best way to do that is you have them running on a hosted environment like Amazon or Vultr or one of these other cloud-based environments where it just runs with Windows or whatever. If you're running out on a Mac, you can do that. It just has to be running 24/7. There's very few projects. I think Neo is one of the projects where once you stake the coins, even if you're offline, it's registered the coins as there, and you still keep getting the credit for the coins for proof of stake purposes. But of course, for Masternode, you have to be there in order to be part of the network, part of the transaction verification validation process. It's kind of pointless if you're not there, because otherwise you can't vote, you can't validate, you can't confirm anything. So that's the essence of it. But the thing is, you can get, I had to do a bit of research on this because this was really fun. So I use Gincoin as an example because it's a masternode platform for other platforms. And they're getting returns of around 140% per year. So if you're buying the coins and so there's a small investment of about between $4,000 and $5,000 on the current price of coins, which you could do with your friends, but you're making between $16 and $20 a day right now.
That's good.
That just adds up. So once enough of those coins have accumulated, you can turn around and buy another one. And you keep doubling down. So there is some, way to continue to evolve and grow this. And of course, at some point, you might want to sell the coins and move to another platform and do it again. Bulwark, Bulwark, is a similar platform for the same kind of thing. These are also crypto coin projects that have their own, initiatives. They're just, we're just focusing on the proof of stake side of what they do in the master. So Bulwark falls in a very, very similar camp, similar price of around 4.5, 5K. Returns of around 130, 140%. And of course, as the coins go up in value over time, of course, you'll make more money. As there's more masternodes, you theoretically would make a little bit less money. So there's a little bit of in between on this because, as there's more transactions, you make more. There's less transactions, you make less. So there's factors that can drive the price and how many coins you're making. But then, of course, I'm leading up to the most exciting one of the three that I looked through, which was crazy. Similar kind of space. Price of 4,250. No, I didn't tell you the name yet. So
No.
price at 4,250.